Looks like there might have been some equipment found on the blue band around the velodrome here. Double check your equipment. It might have been, sounds like a wing nut, I think is what I heard. Something that came off from someone's bike. So chain ring in this case. Okay, I still can't hear over Tim's radio. I need help translating. Chain ring bolt. I don't know. Our current rider on the track, our first time about to be set here. We're doing the 200 meters for qualifying today in the sprint tournament. Patrick Sheedy to the start line, please. Patrick Sheedy. Sheedy's followed by Pyle and then Gallagher. Calling now Pyle and Gallagher. They're followed by Serge Malikian. Again, J.C. Pyle, Merrick Gallagher. Ready now. Followed by Serge Malikian. With Pyle scratch, it looks like we're looking for Gallagher now on deck, followed by Malikian and Wyatt Paul. Again, calling Gallagher and Malikian to the ready area, followed by Wyatt Paul and Jacob Vandervliet. Riders, please be ready for your times. We are going quick. We need the first 5 or 6 riders are already going to be done in a moment. First 10 should be on the bike and ready. Wyatt Paul to staging, please. Wyatt to staging. Jacob Vandervliet also ready, followed by Thomas Andrew. Nick Martinez, Tyler Arnoldi, be ready. Thomas Andrew to staging, please. Thomas Andrew to staging. Nick Martinez also to the staging area, please. Nick Martinez to staging. Tyler Arnoldi, John Bowie, and Alex Siegel are the next 3 riders. Martinez coming up now to the ready area to get started. On deck, we need Arnoldi, followed by Bowie. Martinez is now coming on track, looking for Arnoldi. John Bowie on deck, followed by Siegel and Tomko. Arnoldi on track, John Bowie on deck, Siegel following that will be Room Tomko and then Lucy Gilchrist. Arnoldi finishing up Bowie on their first lap. Alex Siegel coming on track next. On deck, Rue Tomko, followed by Lucy Gilchrist and Danny Scoville.
Out in stormy weather, I might have the blues, but nothing ever stopped me from dusting off my shoes. You might think you'll see me falling to the ground, but I threw up my umbrella when rain stops hitting down. On a bad day, on a good day, I don't need no sunshine, 'cause I'm dancing with the rain. You will see me running, thinking I might be insane. I don't need no sunshine, you keep me going strong. I just need my happy face to keep me moving on.
Bells ringing for Siegel. Rue Tomko is on track now. On deck is Lucy Gilchrist, followed by Danny Scoville, Nancy Dahlberg.
Looking out the window, reflecting who I am. No one ever stopped me, not even Uncle Sam. Life might be a struggle, life might be a fight, but I am here to show the world that I can make it right. On a bad day, on a good day, on a bad day.
Rue Tomko getting the bell. Lucy Gilchrist on track, Danny Scoville on deck, followed by Nancy Dahlberg, Frankie Benka. Danny Scoville about to get the time. On deck should be Nancy Dahlberg. Next to start. The quick time today is John Bowie with a 10.967. Siegel at 11.003. Very closely matched there in the top times so far. $13.601 for Scoville. Dahlberg gets the bell. Benka coming on track. Grant Gibson on deck, followed by James Campbell Harris, then Peter Snoblin. $17.039 for Dahlberg. Benka currently in lap 1. Grant Gibson coming on track next. James Campbell Harris up after that. $21.367. That's Grant Gibson getting the bell. James Campbell Harris up on the track. Snoblin checking in, followed by Stan Douglas and then Tony Blazejack. $13.412 for Gibson. 13.412. 12.126. 12.126 for Campbell Harris. Pierce Snoblin getting their time now. Stan Douglas is on track behind him. Blaze Jack will come up next. On deck will be Wes Pierce, followed by Daniel Tomko. $12.557 for Douglas. Snoblin was 13.42. Douglas slots into second for his age group after that time. What's the rep look like? 2 reps. One gets advanced. And then it's a quarterfinal. Top 4 go into a tournament. The bottom 4 go to 5:30 rising time. Blaze Jack got the bell, and Pierce coming on track next. Tomko will be on deck, followed by Malikian and then Powell. $11.288 for Blaze Jack. Fastest time in his age group and third fastest time today. $11.288 for Blaze Jack. Daniel Tomko gets the bell. Wes Pierce was a scratch, meaning we missed his time because we're looking now for Malikian coming on the track next. Jerry Powell to the ready area, followed by Michael Cooper. Quick time of 11.766. I believe second overall in his age group. 12.554 for Serge. 12.554 for Serge Malikian. Fun fact, Serge, that was 4 thousandths of a second faster than the first time. There you go. $17.217. Next time to come up is Mike Cooper, followed by Billy Rudnick, and then Hyun Lee. Looking for Cooper, number 358. Cooper to the ready area. Never mind. That's Cooper getting the bell. We'll go down on their effort on the back straight. Here comes Rudnick. Hyun Lee's on deck. Tom Schlesny will be after them. $12.434. 12.434 for Cooper. Billy Rudnick got the bell. Hyun Lee's on track looking for Tom Schlesny to the ready area. Schlesny to the ready area, followed immediately by Ken Dong and then Eric Waterman. $14.55 for Rudnick. 14.55. Hyun Lee gets the belt. Schlesny up on track. I believe next rider is Ken Dong to the ready area. 13.086 for Hyun Lee. 13.086 for Hyun. Should be our final three riders essentially in the ready at this stage. Schlesny will get the bell. Kendong on track. Waterman on deck. Our final starter already in the warm-up circle. Our last few riders here in the 200 meter. $11.793 for Schlesny. 11.793. Kendong gets the bell. Eric Waterman coming onto the track. $12.936. 12.936 for Ken. Your last starter coming up, Joe Barato onto the track. Bells ringing for Eric Waterman. $12.411 for Waterman. 12.411. Your last rider getting the bell, Joe Barato.
You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the way. Not looking for no heaven or gold, 'cause I got you. I got you. Don't wanna show us off, 'cause you're my all that
12.712 for Barato. 12.712. We'll be posting out of the qualifiers for the variety of tournaments we have today. Depending on number of registrants, things do look a little different. So we'll get prepared for that. Small break in the action, and we'll get started with sprinting soon.
this ain't no sugar coated stuck in my head. When lights go off, you're everything that I could ever want. Your touch so soft, not looking for no heaven or gold, 'cause I got you, I got you. Don't wanna show us off, but you're my all that I need. Trying to sugarcoat, but I'm flying so high. I don't even know if I'm coming down. You rock my boat when you hold me so tight. The world just disappears in front of my
All right, we are ready to begin with our first round in this sprint tournament for our junior and elite men combined group. This field starts off with a round one, which will feature first heat one, which of course is John Bowie in the bye, getting to sit out for having the fastest time from qualifiers. Heat two is Alex Siegel and Logan Lee, followed by heat three, Jacob Van der Vliet and Patrick Sheedy. All right, calling our sprinters. It's time to begin. Heat two now to draw Siegel and Lee on deck. Van der Vliet and Sheedy, followed by Wyatt Paul and Serge Malikian in heat four. Round one for the sprints now undergoing for the elites and junior men combined field. Heat two drawing now, set to start next. Heat three, Van der Vliet and Sheedy. One rider qualifies from each of these rides to go on to the next round. The second rider across the line rides again in the reps, which will be eventually a group of three, 2-3 rider groups. Top rider from those reps will continue on. So at least a second chance offered to each of these riders that do not come across the line first during the first round. One of our young juniors here taking on a Masters champion in this contest here, although racing today is the elites, is Alex Siegel putting up our second fastest time today. And we combined it with some of our youngest riders since there's not quite enough of our junior men to have their own good-sized tournament. Thought we'd throw them in here so they had some experience racing against a few other competitors. And as the bell rings after the first completed lap, one to go for Logan Lee and Alex Siegel. On track now along the rail, that's Jacob Vandervliet. Third fastest time from the qualifiers, Patrick Sheedy for the Jay Baker Juniors on the inside. Again, winner straight to the quarterfinal rounds. The second right across the line to the reps. Reminder to bring a holder for your sprint, please. Bring holders for the sprints. Wyatt Paul and Serge Malikian are in Heat 4. On deck is Thomas Andrew and Nick Martinez for Heat 5. Heat 6, the final round, will be Merrick Gallagher and Tyler Arnoldi. Wyatt Paul, the rider in black, in the second position right now behind Serge Malikian in the white. Wyatt Paul with the faster qualifying time, our fourth fastest today. So getting a little bit closer though in the timings, is within about a second or so of each other, is getting more competitive here as we get further along in round one. Wyatt Paul now taking the front position as the bell rings. Again, the winner goes on to the quarterfinal round immediately. The other forced to go back to the reps for another chance to make it in. Wyatt Paul launches the attack down the back straight and looks to be taking this one. So first up, after this set of rides from round one for the Elite Junior Men, will be the Junior Women round robin format, the Open Women Junior format round robin's first round, pardon me. On deck will be the last ride in this round one. Following them, Gilchrist and Scoville for the first round of the round robin. Martinez takes the lead spot here. Thomas Andrew, the Flying Gorilla Academy, the rider in black, following the wheel right now as both riders scoot up to the rail. Bells ringing, 1 to go. Thomas Andrew taking round one. In the final heat now, heat 6 coming up. Arnoldi and Gallagher. Arnoldi will advance. Our last rider there from round one. Our riders in this category going a round robin format, so they'll get to race against each other in a variety of matchups. This time it's Gilchrist, the rider in front right now, against Scoville right behind her. We believe the next group should be our Masters women for this sprint tournament, so I believe we are looking for Dahlberg and Benka. Scoville will take round one in this ride. After this ride, we're going to be going into the reps for the elite and junior men. So riders that came across the line second during that contest will be invited back up again for reps following this ride. The rep rides will be Malikian and Gallagher in the first heat. The second heat is Lee, Sheedy, and Martinez. Martinez and Malikian now are the first heat that's on deck following this after we have a scratch. So Malikian and Martinez in the first heat. Heat two is Lee and Sheedy. Nancy Dahlberg on the lead of the lap here in their first chance to match up. I think these two riders will see each other a total of 3 times today. Dahlberg takes the lead spot on the back straight and holds on for this first run. Calling again, Malikian and Martinez now for the rep ride. Looks like I just got a signal about some hardware related. Looks like we're doing something with the bike. Logan Lee and Patrick Sheedy are on deck. Masters 35 quarterfinals follows this round of the reps. Masters 35 plus quarterfinals follows the reps for the elites and junior men. The first heat in that contest for the quarterfinal round will be Tomko and Snoblin. Heat 2, Blazejack earning the bye. We'll bring up the second heat first as we're waiting for some hardware management in Heat 1. Two of our juniors coming up, Patrick Sheedy and Logan Lee. Heat 2 will ride first in the reps. They're followed by Malikian and Martinez. One rider from each of these groups continues on to the quarterfinal rounds, must win the rep to move on. Sheedy takes the lead of the lap down the back straight. Winner is invited to continue racing. Logan Lee holding on here, trying to get back up onto the wheel in turn 4. It looks like Sheedy's going to hold on to the acceleration here. Should have enough to finish, and indeed, Sheedy will ride again in the quarterfinal round. Official warning to Malikian for delay of program will be recorded on the results. Malikian and Martinez now getting their start. One rider advances onto the quarterfinal rounds. The other one will be done for the day. After this, the 35 plus Masters, we've got your quarterfinal round coming up. Another reminder to bring holders with you. We do not have riders or staff on hand to help. Please identify and bring a holder with you for your sprint. Thank you. Tomko and Snoblin should be on deck, both looking for Tomko. I see Tomko ready and Snoblin to the ready area, followed by Campbell Harris and Gibson. Malikian leading the lap now. Martinez still holding onto the wheel though, so we will have a bit of a run at it down the back straight. Gap closing as we hit the middle of the straight. Malikian still has the lead in the shorter lane, but Martinez starting to accelerate here. He's trying to carry his momentum through the turn. Might have enough to make it here. Looking a little bit of ground. It looks like Martinez will have enough. Campbell Harris to the ready area, well with Gibson, followed by Malikian and Douglas. Snoblin on the lead of the lap with Tomko chasing him down. Tomko with our second fastest time out of qualifiers for this group has the top speed advantage. So Snoblin trying to figure out some formula here to beat the speedster for center cycles. Down the back straight, still Tomko on the wheel, waiting to make the jump. Second ride across the line will go to the 5 through 8 ride. Tomko moves on to the semifinal round, as does Blaze Jack, of course, the rider that got the bye during the quarterfinals. Again, riders are coming second across the line during this quarterfinal. Stick around for your 5 through 8 ride to happen later in the program. Second across the line, rides again in the 5 through 8. First across the line onto the semifinal round. Campbell Harris in the second position right in front of him. Gibson going head-to-head here in this round. Again, second rider across the line will get to race again in the 5 through 8 ride. Winner goes on to the semifinals. This is for the Masters 35-plus men sprint tournament. It started in this quarterfinal round. Gibson on the lead lap as the bell's ringing. Campbell Harris will take the ride. Malikian and Douglas in this final ride here for the quarterfinal round. Coming up to this, we've got Heat 2 for the quarterfinals of the Masters 50 Plus. It's Schlesny gets the bye in Heat 1. Heat 2 is Waterman and Rudnick. They're followed by Heat 3, Michael Cooper and Hyun Lee. Whoa, Douglas will hold on there to get it. Malikian closing down at the end. I think Douglas trying to save a little bit of energy for the next round with a nice sprint there. So Malikian made it close. On deck, Michael Cooper, Hyun Lee. Following them with Heat 4 is Joe Barato and Ken Dong.
thought I'd try. Cause when I hear your voice, my walls come down. Boy, you are the only thing I want. There must be a way I can make you see that if we fell in love, it would be so sweet. But when it's you and me, nobody can bring us down, bring us down. But I don't wanna look up if you don't love me back. 'Cause I don't wanna look up if you don't love me
Gonna be Waterman taking the ride. Coming up next, we have our third heat. Michael Cooper and Hyun Lee. Joe Broad and Ken Dong on deck. After that, we go into the elite junior men for their quarterfinal round. The ride will be forced to start again. Speed is not up to the qualifications here required, up to the first 200 meters. Riders will come back for their start. come down to a good sprint here. Hyun Lee is able to hold on to it. It started to lose a little bit of ground, but reaccelerates and holds on at the end. Hyun Lee will take the ride. This now brings us to Heat 4. Joe Barado and Ken Dong on deck. We have the quarterfinals in the Elite Junior Men. The first ride is Bowie and Sheedy. The second ride is Siegel and Martinez. Ken Dong off the front at the moment. Barado trying to run at the rear wheel. Should be pretty close coming into turn 3. Barado making some gains here currently as it hits the turn. Oh, Barado will find enough acceleration by about a bike. Good matchup there. Bowie and Sheedy up onto the track. On deck, Siegel and Martinez. They're followed by Vandervliet and Arnoldi. Second rider across the line rides again in the 5 through 8 ride. First rider across continues on into the semifinal round. Again, 5 through 8 ride for the second rider across the line. The winner continues on into the semifinal round. Bowie comes across the line first. Sheedy will race again in the 5th through 8th ride. Bowie, your fastest time in the qualifying round. No surprise here, has a good advantage in this ride. We'll continue on to the semifinal round. Up next comes our second heat. Siegel and Martinez. Vandervliet and Arnoldi are on deck. The last heat of this round will be Wyatt Paul and Thomas Andrew. Martinez for the Coefficient Speed team is the rider in front. Alex Siegel for Waterline Racing, your second fastest qualifier in their group, right behind him. Your top two riders within a very close amount of time, right around that 11-second mark for both Bowie and Siegel. Martinez getting here through the reps, able to continue on for one more chance here. And a tough matchup. See what Martinez can do here against the speedy Siegel right behind him. Second rider across line, still gets to race again for 5th or 8th. Martinez sitting at the front and maintaining a pretty quick tempo on this first lap. And Siegel will take it on the outside line there. Number 110 takes the ride and onward to the semifinal round. Vandervliet and Arnoldi come on track now. They're followed by Heat 4, Wyatt Paul, and Thomas Andrew. After this, we're going to go to round 2 of the round robin for the Open Junior women. That'll be Scoville and Tomko in this round 2 ride coming up shortly. Getting closer here in our qualifiers. It should be a nice competitive set of rounds coming up here for our riders with Vandervliet. The rider from Flying Gorilla Academy was our 3rd fastest time today out of the qualifiers. And Arnoldi for Waterline Racing putting up a pretty good time himself. That's rider 362 and the rider currently in front, the orange helmet belonging to Vandervliet.
Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt.
Bells ringing, 1 to go. Arnoldi at the front.
Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky.
Vandervliet with a nice acceleration there on the second half of that lap is able to come away with that one. Arnold Reese again in the 5 through 8 coming up now. Your final heat. Wyatt Paul and Thomas Andrew. This ride's underway. Wyatt Paul, number 349 in the all black. Next to him with mostly black with those blue and white stripes in the back. That's Thomas Andrew for Flying Gorilla Academy. These two riders pretty close on their qualifying times. Wyatt Paul leaving us some running room here as Thomas Andrews getting up to speed. That's a pretty big gap and a good distance to try to run at the wheel as Wyatt Paul should be able to come up back into contact before exiting the turn. A good close of speed here, trying to overtake the rider from Flying Gorilla Academy. Looks pretty good here. Can he hold the momentum? Will not be able to carry it through. Oh, the rider on the inside. That'll be Thomas Andrew in a nice sprint there. In the sprinter's lane, makes it look good. It'll be our rider 158. Thomas Andrew takes that one. Wyatt Paul goes again to the 5 through 8 ride. The Junior Open Women's second round, Scoville and Tomko come up next, followed by the Masters Women's second round between Dahlberg and Benka. Drew Tomko, the rider, hasn't yet had a contest yet in this round robin, taking on Scoville, who won in the first round. Gilchrist not in the tournament any longer. These two have the option. Maybe they will ride it again. So it may end up being a 2-ride format for these two at this point with Tomko and Scoville in their first matchup. Tomko, the rider, slightly in front. After this, the Masters women in their second round go back to the Masters 35 to 49 group. We'll start, I believe, with the 5th through 8th ride before going to the semifinal round. I think to respect the time of the racers, it was decided we will do the 5 through 8 rides for the 3 groups that have them first before going back to the top of the order for the semifinal rounds. That means on deck is the Masters 35 through 49, 5 through 7 ride. That's Snoblen, Gibson, Malikian. Then it's the Masters 50 plus, 5 through 7 ride, Rudnick, Cooper, and Dong. Then it's the Elite Junior Men 5th through 8, Sheedy, Martinez, Arnoldi, and Paul. So again, we're going to call 5th through 7th place rider contest here for 35 through 49 Masters to the ready area now. Snoblen, Gibson, Malikian. Following them will be Rudnick, Cooper, and Dong, and then Sheedy, Martinez, Arnoldi, and Paul. Before we jump back to the top of the order for the rides in the semi-final round. Right now we have our Masters women head-to-head matchup between Nancy Dahlberg and Frankie Benka getting the bell. Another ride here for Benka and Dahlberg. Dahlberg will take this round. Snoblen, Gibson, and Malikian onto the track, on deck. 5th through 7th ride for Masters 50 plus, Rudnick, Cooper, and Dong. Confirming the semifinal round is a best of 1 ride. Finals will be best of 3. On deck, Rudnick, Cooper, and Dong, followed by Sheedy, Martinez, Arnoldi, and Paul. Amar's predicting there actually is some podium places to be determined here based on the age group. So it's overall 5th through 7th in the tournament, but do remember with Fred's race, everything's broken down for Masters in groups of 5-year age categories. So every race can really play out a big role here for the finish. This one has some good implications. Snoblin trying to lead this thing out. Can't quite get in the sprinter's lane as looks like Malikian's holding on to it. He got a nice re-acceleration there as he exits turn 4. Malikian looks to take the ride. Again, should have implications on the podium for Malikian here for coming across first in this group. And our riders will exit on the back straight. Here comes your next group. Billy Rudnick, Michael Cooper, and Ken Dong will be racing here in this 3-up group. And then up after that and on deck should be Patrick Sheedy, Nick Martinez, Tyler Arnoldi, Wyatt Paul. To the ready area, please. Again, thanks to the format, these rides can have more implication for finishing order than you might think. This is officially for 5th through 7th in the overall tournament format for the Masters 50+ group. That's Michael Cooper, the lowest position on the track. Our rider sporting some very similar looking rear wheels, by the way, here. It's the look of the sprinters today here in this field. Riders kind of fanning out side by side. Ken Dong right in the middle, and Billy Rudnick right in the blue of the Gene Johnson cycling team there at the back end. Ken Dong leaning out the effort now. Here comes Michael Cooper back onto the rear wheel. Ooh, Cooper will get enough speed, it looks like. And a close matchup there to the line. And here comes your last ride of this sort today. It's Patrick Sheedy, Nick Martinez, Tyler Arnoldi, Wyatt Paul in their ride for 5th through 8th. Martinez leading the lap as the bell's ringing. Arnoldi re-accelerating. Martinez on the lead of the lap still, with Wyatt Paul trying to close in from third position. Starting to find some good acceleration on the outside of both Arnoldi and Paul, trying to come around the right side of Martinez now. 3 up onto the home straight. Ooh, Wyatt Paul, I think 349, flies in for first across the line out of the group. Considered 5th overall in the tournament for Wyatt Paul after that finish. This should bring us back to the 35 through 49 semifinal round. The semifinals start with Tony Blazejack and Stan Douglas in Heat 1. Daniel Tomko and James Campbell Harris in Heat 2. Each of these semifinal rides are best of ones.
You can maybe take a seat if you.
Winner moves on to the ride for first and second. Second across the line will race for third and fourth.
Let's go. What number is Tony? 2. All right, let's go. Get this done, guys. You drawn? No. Yeah.
Stan Douglas leading the effort now on the front, with Blazejack closing in quickly as they hit turn 3. Blazejack with the faster qualifying time has some good advantage here in top speed. We'll put it on display here. It comes around the outside, and we'll take this one. Douglas rides again for 3rd and 4th in the tournament, and Blazejack will compete for 1st and 2nd when they come back for the final round. Riders, be ready. We're going through this pretty quickly, as up next will be the semifinals for the Masters 50 Plus, followed by the Elite Junior Men. There will not be another ride for the Junior Women, as they have elected not to take it. I believe there will be a 3rd ride for the Master Women, and then we go back into the finals, back in the order we've been moving through here. So please be ready. Coming up after this ride, the semifinals for the Master 50 Plus. It'll be Schlesny and Barato, followed by Waterman and Lee. Schlesny and Barato now to the ready area, please. Campbell Harris following Tomko around into turn one. Now he'll take the lead and start to at least show some acceleration here. Tomko with a pretty quick time out of qualifiers certainly was capable of the overall top speed advantage here in the ride, and looks like he'll be able to put it on display in turn three. Overtakes and rolls away with it. Campbell Harris already starting to put on the brakes a little bit. Tomko grabs this one. And we'll race for first and second. Campbell Harris will be going up against Stan Douglas for third and fourth overall today. This is Schlesny and Barato coming up now. It's Waterman and Lee on deck. Schlesny and Barato. Joe Barato is the rider in red, currently in second position. Behind Schlesny, the rider with the quickest time today for this field. Earned the bye in the previous round. Now comes into his first competition against Barato. Winner moves on to the semifinal round. Excuse me, the final round in the race for first and second. Second across the line will be racing for third and fourth. Schlesny coming around the outside, comes up to the front out of turn four, and will race for first and second. Barato will race again for third and fourth. Here comes Waterman and Lee. On deck, Bowie and Andrew, followed by Siegel and Vandervliet. Hunley in the lead currently in front of Eric Waterman. One rider advances to the ride for first and second against Schlesny. The other will race again for third and fourth. Hewley still on the lead of the lap. Waterman leaving a little bit of running room there to cover the distance, although instead of holding on to the lead, Hewley gets attacked on out of turn 2. It's now Waterman at the front. Drops down in the sprinter's lane, takes the lead position. Hewley closing the gap here nicely. Can he make enough distance here to then accelerate over the top? Could be a close one here for the Dyna Racing duo. Waterman and Lee. Waterman, wow. Nice sprint there between these two. Waterman down the sprinter's lane does have enough. Lee came back in really big fashion, tried to time the catch just right. Didn't quite line up, but a nice sprint nonetheless. Let's bring up our next group. It's John Bowie and Thomas Andrew in this Heat 1 for the Elite and Junior Men field. With all we have left now are the Elites. We've got Alex Siegel and Jacob Vandervliet on deck. There are no more rides left for the junior or master women. Both have elected to not take round 3 in their round robin and or their 3 rides. So we are going to go back after these 2 heats here. We go back to the top of the order for the final round, starting with the 35 through 49. Don't quote me on this. I think it's about 0.6 of a second separating from the qualifying times from these 2 riders. The rider in second position with our quickest time in the qualifying round, just under 11 seconds. And in front of him, I think it was about 11.6, somewhere in there. So pretty close in the top speed, but half a second can make a big difference here in the sprints. Thomas Andrew, the lead rider, going to try and figure out what he can do against our local overall speedster, John Bowie. Champ at the GP in the Elite Sprint Omnium. And again, setting our fastest time here today from the qualifying round. The rider from Waterline Racing, the one to beat here. Siegel and Vandervliet are on deck. Following that, we go back to the final round for Masters 35 through 49. We'll start for the ride 3rd and 4th place, and then move to the ride for 1st and 2nd. Bowie has taken the front here. Andrew sitting in kind of the soft spot there, out of sight, a little high and behind. Both riders rolling it into turn 2 and down to the flat with Bowie accelerating things. A little bit of running room. Andrew intentionally leaving some space. Now trying to accelerate, try to time the catch and give him as best of a chance as he can to overtake the speedster. Bowie not quite getting the initiative he needs yet. Bowie's looking around, making sure he's got this, and I think he will by about a bike. Andrew tried to time that catch. It was a little too hard to come around Bowie. Bowie holds on. We'll find that one, move on for the ride for 1st and 2nd. Siegel and Vandervliet now on the track. Another ride here for the elite men left in this tournament to separate who is going to race for 1st and 2nd. Vandervliet's the rider with the orange helmets, currently in front for the Flying Gorilla Academy. Right behind him, Alex Siegel. Siegel just barely was second fastest today behind Bowie in the qualifiers. Less than half a second separating the times of these 2 riders. Very close in their top speed. On deck will be Campbell Harris and Douglas for their first ride in a best of 3 as we move into this final round. They're followed by Blaze Jack and Tomko, the race for first and second overall in the 35 through 49 Masters tournament. The tourney coming to a conclusion here at nearly the end of our championship weekend at Fred's Race here. We're going to be giving out a few more medals today for the sprints at the end of it all. And of course, there's a lot of different categories to recognize from our juniors up through our master riders, including these elites that we have out here today. One to go. Siegel on the outside line along the rail. Vandervliet guarding the turn to the left, just trying to kind of manage the position right now of Siegel up high. Looks like he's going to try to keep it so both riders will accelerate side by side. Siegel will forfeit a little position here, come back into the rear position behind Vandervliet, and then launch his attack. Siegel with great jump there out of turn 3. Vandervliet trying to re-accelerate, but it won't be enough. Siegel cruises in there at the end, making it look pretty easy as he found the acceleration he needed. And nicely in control. We now go into the finals round. These races are just the beginning to settle the score for who will be 3rd and 4th in the Masters 35 through 49 group. Familiar faces here: James Campbell Harris and Stan Douglas, 2 of your board members for the Marymore Velodrome Association, and regular competitors out here on Friday nights going head-to-head in this matchup, and will face each other at least twice to settle the score who is going to be 3rd overall today. Campbell Harris for Airtech Racing has the inside position. Just above and slightly behind in that olive green colored is Stanley Douglas. Pretty similar skill sets and top speed for both these riders too. The qualifiers, I can't remember exactly where their timings came in, but relatively close. Should be a fun matchup to watch here, and both riders taking a pretty consistent moderate tempo here on their opening lap. Bell's ringing. Campbell Harris still in front. Stan Douglas moves up a little bit on the track, but no move from either rider just yet. Looks like Campbell Harris looks like he's trying to push the pedals a bit here and start the acceleration. Douglas running at the rear wheel. Side by side, Campbell Harris has to come back up to speed in the sprinter's lane. He's got the shorter line. Should be his advantage here if he can get back up to speed, as Douglas already made the move around the right side. James Campbell Harris will hold on. We'll take the first matchup. The ride for 1st and 2nd. Coming up now, Blaze Jack and Tomko. On deck, the ride for 3rd and 4th, Hyun Lee and Joe Barato. Blazejack on the left, the rider in black. Fastest time in qualifiers for this group of riders up against the second fast time in qualifiers. No surprise to see these two speedsters here side by side. Tomko, the rider in blue. This is the ride for first and second place now in the group in their first matchup. On deck, Lee and Barato for their ride, followed by Schlesny and Waterman. Blazejack on the inside, kind of holding, again, a fairly steady, consistent tempo, similar to the first group we saw here, the ride for third and fourth, taking lap one, a decent clip. Side by side coming into the home straight. Positioning himself between the sprinter's lane and Tomko, as Blazejack's just trying to hold position right in the middle of the track. Tomko holding the high position near the rail, threatening the turn to the left. Blazejack waiting for some bite here. Tomko takes the lane. Oh, a little overshoots it, in fact. Both riders trying to maybe fight and contest for that space. Tomko's got the shorter lane, but Blazejack has good acceleration here. Should be able to find what he needs here over the top. A little bit of action there on the back straight this time, but it cleaned up by turn four. What looks like either way, Blazejack takes that first ride. We'll see them again for their second matchup. Here comes Masters 50 plus. First group here will be the race for third and fourth in their first matchup between Hyun Lee and Joe Barato. On deck, the ride for first and second, Schlesny and Waterman. Barato's the rider in red. On the inside position, the rider in pink for Dyno Racing. That's Hyun Lee. Barato takes the sprinter's lane with Hyun Lee on his wheel. As the bell's ringing, both riders sitting in single file and neither up to speed yet as we get in the middle of turn 1 and 2. Lee waiting for Barato to make the move, it looks like. And here, as we enter turn 2, now both riders getting up to speed. Hyun Lee did enough to come up alongside Barato. It's basically just going to be a straight up sprint. Hyun Lee's got a little bit of a longer line. Barato with the positioning advantage. Trying to run at it. We've seen Lee accelerate on the home straight. Can he do it here? Oh, a nice sprint. It will go to the inside, I think. Looked like he had a good advantage there, but a nice race nonetheless. Forced Hyun Lee to come around the outside, and it worked out. Rider from Movement Mortgage, Girks Racing Team, takes the first ride in the best of 3 for third and fourth. Here comes the ride for first and second. Schlesny along the rail versus Eric Waterman, the ride on the inside. On deck, Vandervliet and Andrew for the elite men, followed by Bowie and Siegel. This race is for first and second in the overall group for the Masters 50 Plus, and we've got Eric Waterman, veteran here of this race. Many successful competitions for that rider. Tom Schlesny coming in with the fastest time today from the qualifying round for the group, though. So good contest here between these two. Waterman leading out the effort right now, just down at the blue line, looking over the right shoulder, watching Schlesny sitting back and behind a little bit in the high position. Schlesny out of the saddle, kind of doing the dance, thinking like he might jump and move. Maybe trying to get Waterman to flinch a little bit. Neither rider buying it as Waterman moves and slides down the sprinter's lane. Schlesny, the faster finisher, may be able just to run the wheel and get this now. Waterman forced to try to come up to speed through the turn. Schlesny on the attack. Looks like he'll have enough here in their first ride. I have Vandervliet and Andrew our next two up. Jacob Vandervliet, Thomas Andrew, third and fourth place ride, first round coming up.
Keep him on it!
I'll kick Serge out.
I'm out of it now. Someone hold me. I'm scared.
Tyler, will you, here, Serge, can you try to get in the bunch?
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Tyler's down. Tyler, good.
I got him.
Keith, will you hold one of us when you're done?
Yep.
Thomas Andrew slightly in front of his challenger here, Vandervliet. In the head-to-head match, will race at least twice in their first matchup now for third and fourth overall in today's elite and junior men combined field, although all that's left now is four elites here at the top of the group. On deck is the ride for first and second, their first matchup between John Bowie and Alex Siegel. Once that ride is concluded, we will go back to the Masters 35 through 49 for round two to see if any of our matchups retire, if any of our riders can double up and win two in a row, or if we'll have any rides forced to the third ride. Yet to be seen. Vandervliet holding the inside position. Both riders holding on to the acceleration as they hit the back straight. Vandervliet trying to keep it high onto the hill here. He now finally moves into that sprinter's lane as they enter turn three. Just trying to make sure that Andrew doesn't get any advantage by trying to come into his slipstream, as I think he feels he's got the faster finishing speed, able to pull it out here. So Vandervliet will take the first ride.
All right, gentlemen, let's go.
Bowie and
Bowie
Siegel.
and Siegel.
In the race for first and second place now coming up in their first matchup. On deck, Campbell Harris and Douglas. Teammates going head to head here with Siegel on the front and Bowie right behind him. Very close in the top speed here from their qualifying times. The ride for third and fourth has retired as Douglas will give the win to Campbell Harris. That puts Blazejack and Tomko on deck right now. The ride for first and second into the second round. Bowie makes a jump down the home straight, going to force a big response from Siegel. That's a big gap that Bowie's opened up here. Siegel can't find the wheel off of that attack. In fact, it already looks like Siegel's pulled off of this one, realizing that the gap is opened up too quick to try to dive here. Let's go to the next round instead. Save it for the second ride. Bowie takes this one in convincing fashion with a very explosive move there on the home straight. Tony Blazejack, the rider on the outside, took ride one, trying to find a second one here against Tomko to end up first overall. If Tomko wins the matchup, it forces ride three. So the rider in blue hoping to upset Blazejack here on this one and force that third ride. On deck is Lee and Barato for their second ride, followed by Schlesny and Waterman. Side by side in turn three, that's Tomko on the inside line still. Just like how he started along the rail, Blazejack still up high. As we move our way down to the home straight. As Tomko pushes ahead, Blazejack actually comes up to match him, so a little bit of pressure being applied by both riders as they're kind of trying to hold tempo with each other side by side. Up to the rail, still held there. Tomko trying to take advantage of the hill and give himself as much speed as he can. Blazejack finding that wheel, looking very smooth here into turn three. Blazejack from the back position trying to find first the slipstream and now the acceleration. Looks like he's got a good turn here to try to close it down. Tomko gets that one. Blazejack thought he had the acceleration needed on the outside. A nice effort from Tomko down the sprinter's lane. We force round three for the ride for first and second out of that group. That's going to be a good one to close out for the group. Nice race between Tomko and Blazejack. Lee and Barato coming up for their second ride now. On deck, Schlesny and Waterman. Followed by Vandervliet and Andrew. Joe Barato picked up ride 1, the rider in red, in a good match. Is pretty close to the line. Hyun Lee was left out in second behind Barato, but made a very good run at it, closed down the gap quickly and made it a good sprint on the home straight. We'll see how these two riders take it in the second round. Hyun Lee at the front. Joe Barato, the rider in back, the rider in red. Barato going to make this a long one. He's getting up to speed on the home straight. Hyun Lee lost the wheel and feel like he's lost all the wind in the sails. Barato takes this one in dominant fashion with a move on the home straight. He watched Bowie do it and says, I can try that too. Might as well. Barato will end up in the tournament overall third place. Once I see our official results based on age categories, things will look a little different. But in the overall tournament, third place will go to Barato. Hyun Lee will end up in fourth overall out of the group. And up next, Schlesny and Waterman in their second ride. On deck, Vandervliet and Andrew, followed by Bowie and Siegel.
More for Tony, because I could do it again right now, and that would probably be advantage me.
Well, it's worth it for like 5 hours of time.
Second matchup for these two riders. The rider in white, Tom Schlesny, won the first matchup. Eric Waterman trying to find the victor here, or it'll be all done. Schlesny will end up in first overall. And a ride for first and second in the second round. Schlesny off the front still, leading the lap as the bell's ringing. Watching for Waterman's position. Abandons the sprinter's lane pretty quickly in the middle of the turn. Now back up onto the hill. Both riders waiting for the acceleration down to the back straight. Waterman will try to get a good run at it. He gets up to speed faster than Schlesny, hitting turn 3. He's still up high though. Schlesny with both the faster finishing speed and the shorter lane should have the advantage here. Waterman trying to make it good here from the second position. Schlesny and Waterman. Schlesny has enough. Looking in good form here today, and a good race for both riders. Great competitors, but we are done with that matchup. Schlesny will end up being first overall today out of the Masters 50+ group. Again, we'll take a look once we actually post the results based on those Masters age categories. Coming up now, those Vandervliet and Andrew in their second match. Bowie and Siegel on deck. As of right now, only one ride forced to round 3 between Blaze Jack and Tomko. That one's coming up pretty quick. We got 2 rides here for the elites before we'll come back to that round 3. Vandervliet winning in the first matchup is the rider in the orange helmet. Has advantage coming into round 2, wins it here. He'll be in 3rd overall in the tournament for the elites today, with Thomas Andrew right behind him, trying to find the win here and force round 3. Otherwise, he'll end in 4th overall. Rider swapping position again is now Thomas Andrew coming up to the front underneath Vandervliet. Saw what happens when he just leaves it to top speed there at the end. Vandervliet seems to have a little bit more. Let's see if Thomas Andrew can find a new way to win. You're trying to control the positioning now of Vandervliet as he assumes that inside line. Keeping his competition up against the rail. Both riders have to kind of back off here as Vandervliet way slows off the pace. He's opening up the lane now for himself. Andrew slows down as well. Both riders holding on to the effort in turn 1 now. Vandervliet wants to be able to run at the wheel. Looks like he's trying to hold off just a little bit here. Both riders hesitating as we come down into that back straight. Vandervliet will run at it from the rail. Andrew might be able to get into the slipstream here. If he can hold on, might have a chance for this, take the lead back, but Vandervliet really running it nice as he hit turn 3. Good acceleration. Got on top of the bike pretty quick, and Andrew's just left a little bit out here. Vandervliet takes 2 in a row. Coming up now, Bowie and Siegel in their second ride. Bowie not only the undeniable one, but also the merciless one. What a jump there with 400 meters to go. Siegel basically surrendered the ride and said, I am not wasting effort now. I know I can't get this back. Let's try this again in round 2. So Siegel saving some good effort here for this ride now. Has to win or it's all said and done. Bowie walks away with the top spot in the tourney. Siegel, the rider in second position with the bright white helmet, is the one looking for the win here. If Bowie does it again, the rider in front right now, it is going to be his tournament for the elites today. Siegel watching Bowie like a hawk, says he will not do that move to me again. Onto the home straight now, Bowie just sitting in the sprinter's lane, kind of expecting this maybe, is that Siegel's going to be glued to that rear wheel. Bells ringing, Siegel and Bowie here. That sounded like a pulled wheel there. That was a mechanically related issue there as Siegel got up to speed. We'll fire the pistol and make sure that that's not how this race ends. That should mean Blazejack and Tomko can come up for their round 3 ride. The only one so far. They'll need to draw once again for their position.
You guys look too good to go, I think.
I think they're good to go. It's just a cold foot. Oh, you hold the pedal.
All right, so it wasn't bike related, pedal issue, so I think Siegel should be able to get reset quick enough here. We will hold off on the round 3 ride for the Masters, and we'll just restart here for Siegel and Bowie. And here we go again. Bowie and Siegel back at it. Right back into the same order. We saw them on the first lap as Bowie will lead the parade. That Siegel is happy just to attach to that rear wheel and hold on. We had a pulled pedal. Would have been a terrible way for this matchup to end. Glad to get the restart here, and we're right back into it. In their first lap, Bowie on the front. Your winner from the first ride, Siegel in second position. Doesn't want to see Bowie win again, and certainly not the same way he did in the first matchup. He wants to make this a race. We saw Siegel run at him about here. Both riders kind of repeating the tactics of the first race. Siegel using that second position now, a little bit of the hill to help him finish that acceleration. He tries to come back down the sprinter's lane and hold onto the rear wheel. This is a good move for Siegel, trying to hit that wheel in time. Hold on in that sprinter's lane, then come around the right side and try to get this finish. Coming on the home straight. Here we go. Waterline racing head-to-head. Siegel and Bowie. Siegel and Bowie. Bowie by about half a bike. Not quite that much, but Bowie will hold on. The champ from the Vision GP Sprint Omnium does it again here at Fred's race. No surprise that he is a real top contender here in the sprint. Siegel making it hard there in that second round. It'll be Bowie ending up first overall here at Fred's race. We go back now to the Masters 35 through 49. The only race forced to round 3. Tomko, the rider in blue, looks to drew position on the outside, is along the rail. Blazejack coming up to challenge him here in the all-black kit. This will be the final ride for the two. The winner takes first for the Masters 35 through 49 tourney. Fred's race just about wrapped up. We do have some podiums to do here. Again, thanks to everybody for helping manage and support this whole weekend of racing. Our officials doing an incredible job supporting us on all the different race formats, being very flexible for all the changes required. Our athletes, of course, for sticking things out. We know the smoke and air quality has not been its best, but we thank you for making Fred's race still come together. For our fans, those that are watching online and that made their way out here to support friends and family during the sprint tournament, great to have you here at the Velodrome during Fred's race. This is the end event here. This is about all we got left. After this, we'll do some podiums and be closing up shop for Fred's race 2023, our regional championships for the Masters and Juniors, plus some elite racing going on here today. Just about all wrapped up. Championship month continues. Great racing next Friday night planning to happen. We're going to have the Elites International Omnium Championship happening. That should be a fun Friday night of racing. End of season right around the corner. And this will be a fun one to end on here today as Blazejack and Tomko. The first matchup made it look like Blazejack was going to take this one pretty handedly, but Tomko came back in really strong form there in the second match. Found a way to hold off. Blazejack trying to come around the outside on the home straight. Tomko taking it in the sprinter's lane in that match. Now we see them swapping places again. It's going to be Blazejack taking the lead spot right now. Neither rider up to speed yet. Still making this a pretty short race as they cross the 200-meter line. Blazejack up first. Oh, Tomko's leaving a bit of a gap here. He's got to run at the wheel quick. Does he have time to get there? Blazejack accelerating too quickly. I think Blazejack will hold on to this one. Blazejack will take it. And a great race between these two. Fun to see the third ride forced by Tomko. He'll still up in second overall, but great competitor there for Center Cycles. Tony Blazejack will be the overall champ for the 35-49 Masters tourney. And that is the end of racing today. Stand by for some podiums. I believe at this point we will turn off the broadcast. So if you're out there viewing and watching, thanks for tuning in live. Hit the thumbs up, share, and subscribe to the channel, please. We'd love your support as we're trying to bring you coverage here. We promise we'll have all of our live stream supporters here next week. Should be able to get a few more good views of the racing action, including getting back down there on some of the GoPros and all the fun. For now, we're going to be turning that off. We'll have more racing coming for you again this coming Friday night. Don't miss it. It's going to be the International Omnium Elites Championship going on during Friday Night Racing this next week to kind of close out this championship month. Thanks again to everybody for making Fred's race such a success, and we look forward to hosting you for more racing action here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.